plus additional online fees. You can get admission at the door for a little more.
See you at the Choice Broadcasting 80s and 90s Retro Rewind, November 9th at Club Zoo.
You are listening to 93.3 FM, The Point. It is Veterans with Benefits with your hosts, Anthony Tyrone and Corinna Ballista.
Welcome back. Hello, you're listening to 93.3 on The Point. We're also available online on Facebook and YouTube. You can call in at 671-888-TALK. Thank you to our sponsors, Ambrose Inc., 11Z's. They're right behind the studio. They offer 11% discount for active duty military and veterans. Thank you, Grace.
Yes.
Guam Eco Surfaces, zoilo.org. Thank you, Peter. Domino's and Dugout. And then Veteran of the Week. Veteran of the Week is former Lieutenant Commander Joseph Brown.
Woo.
He was a department head for JSOC. He was N6 Communications and Training. I think I'm messing this up, but he can fix
letters and
this.
Numbers there.
He can fix this later. So, native Guamanian. He was born and raised on Guam. He enlisted in the U.S. Navy after graduating from St. John's. He attended the Naval Academy Preparatory School. He completed NAP's curriculum, and then he earned a vice presidential nomination to the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. Wow.
Fancy.
After graduating from Annapolis with a Bachelor's of Science degree in economics, he went on to receive his diploma from the Naval College of Command and Staff, and he earned a Master of Arts degree from Naval War College in Defense and Strategic Studies, specializing in irregular warfare area of study.
You might just be a general in the future. I'm sorry, go ahead.
He earned a certificate in project management from Syracuse University and is currently, I'm not sure if this is, maybe you've already done this, but a postgraduate certificate in innovation and entrepreneurship from Stanford University's Graduate School of Business. His military career, he served in operational assignments as a member of the U.S. CENTCOM, International Security Assistance Force, Afghanistan, Joint Command SEAL Team 3,
Ooh.
SEAL Team 1, he augmenting SEAL Team 1, Special Reconnaissance Team 1, Naval Special Warfare Unit 1, Special Operations Command SOCPAC, I think I'm saying that right, a government agency, and AFRICOM, U.S. AFRICOM. And then he served, this is really long. Okay, he served.
He's done a lot of stuff.
Joint Special Operations Intelligence Department head at N2, and I think I mentioned that already. Sensitive Activities Director for SOC Pacific, and just recently, 2019. And then he was selected to lead both the Communications and Training Department for NR SOC Pacific in 2019, and then as a Navy reservist, he was a unit manager and also the unit training officer and a Navy Special Warfare requirement owner and the unit sole NROS orders approving official. I think for Air Force it's AROS, but cool. Okay, so then he also volunteered for a combat deployment, SEAL 06 commanding officer and approved by SOCOM headquarters and Naval Special Warfare to fill a SEAL 05 billet at Special Operations Joint Task Force. And then he, when the president ordered all U.S. forces out of Afghanistan, he was remissioned to support JSOC Special Missions Unit. And that is almost done. So he's authorized to wear Information Warfare Officer insignia, the Navy Scuba Diver insignia, the Navy and Marine Corps Parachutist insignia, the Joint Service Commendation Medal, the Joint Service Achievement Medal, the Navy and Marine Commendation Medal, Gold Star, in lieu of second award, and Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal, as well as various unit and service awards. Thank him for his service.
Yeah. Wow. I did not know we had all that
I think we're
stuff.
going to meet him later. Yeah, we're going to meet him later.
He just might be a general later.
Right. So I wanted to do a veteran.
Admiral, right?
That's impressive. Veteran tip of the week is DIC. A lot of surviving spouses and dependents do not know about this, so I'm going to talk about it. So DIC is dependency and indemnity compensation, and it's governed by 38 CFR 3.22. So if you would like to know more, write this number down. 38 CFR 3.22. Just look it up. You can Google it. That's the 38 CFR, the Bible that governs benefits. So DIC has to be something a surviving spouse applies for, or a dependent parent. So what some of the requirements are: it's a monthly tax-free benefit paid to eligible survivors of a service member who died while on active duty for training or inactive duty, or veterans who died as a result of a service-connected injury or disease, or veterans who did not die as a result of a service-connected injury or disease, but were totally disabled, service-connected disability 100%, or TDIU, for at least 10 years before death, or since their release from active duty and for at least 5 years before death, or for at least 1 year before death if they were a former prisoner of war and died after September 30, 1999. So in 2024, the monthly rate is $1,612.75 for a spouse. And then if the veteran was 100% or TDIU for 8 years prior to death, there's an additional $342.46. And then for dependents, in 2024, it's $399.54. So if you have one child, it's $399.54, and then you just add per child. So it's DIC. Unfortunately, it's not something that's automatic when the veteran passes away. So if you know someone that has a surviving spouse, parent, or child, please ask them to visit the ASIN office or the TITSN office, the VA offices, and see if they're eligible, if they think that they are. And then did you want to say hi to someone?
I always say hello to Knox and to Aaliyah.
All right. Hey. And now we can introduce our guest.
Our
Yes.
popular guy in our radio station today on our show needs no introduction.
But
I did that before, but anyway.
But we have to.
Yeah, and so maybe we'll have you introduce yourself if that's okay. You want me to do that, right?
Yes.
So just tell us your name, and we already have your whole background. So
For real, man. Yeah, the military biographies. I'm sorry. Yeah,
all right. So is it Joey, Joseph, Jose?
Joey. Yeah, I go by Joey. Yeah, Joey
okay.
Brown.
Joey Brown. Welcome. And when I first started talking to you, I would not have imagined that we'd had that long list of things. And whenever we meet our veterans, right, and they start telling stories about what they've done, these are only things you see in the movies, right? And with me hearing that, it just really fascinates me that, you know, our local homegrown veterans, right, have really done quite a few things that you only see in the movies, and you're one of those people. So
I love it, man. I love it. Like, I love the military. I'm super grateful to it. It's just a land of opportunity, and at any local that I talk to, like, I always encourage them, like, dude, if you're thinking about it, like, absolutely join. 100%.
Awesome. Yeah. And that's kind of something out here for us, right, on Guam, right? It's like, and when you go stateside, right, majority of the people stateside that join the service are usually your folks that are, you know, they don't have a lot of money, right? They come from, you know, backgrounds that, you know, it's almost like you have to join almost, right? Out here, it's pretty much, hey, my buddies are going, my family has joined, I'm joining, and you know, we really have a good time. You know, I think we have one of the best numbers, and we do have, you know, the highest per capita enlistment, and even up until today, while stateside, their numbers are dwindling. So, you know, it's really tough. So yeah, we do a good job out here. I'll tell a story about how I bumped into this fine young man. I was,
and then afterwards, let him introduce himself because he didn't say his name yet, and where he.
I did.
You
Joey
did?
Brown. Joey Brown.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't hear it. Go ahead.
He's got my back.
One
They're
team.
ganging
one
up
team.
on me, Jose.
One team. One team. One team.
Yes.
I'm gone for one show, and he's ganging up on me.
Come on,
You're
I'm building
Hollywood
him-
now. You're open game.
So
Go
but we're
ahead.
building up to it, and we want to have fun too, right? So we do this all the time when our veterans come in, and of course Jose, helps us to do the good things that we do. So the story about how I bumped into him was we were at Big Navy over at the gas station, right? And so I'm walking either in or out, and I see you, right? And I said, "Hey, are you a veteran?" And then he starts talking, right? And then I said, "Hey, you're from here." It was super funny.
the accent?
Yeah, he starts talking to me. I said, "You're local." And then he starts introducing himself. And it was really, really nice to, so for those of you that are only able to hear his voice, right?
You can watch us on YouTube and Facebook.
You will see why that came across. And I was actually even looking at you, right? I said, this guy looks too young to be a veteran, you know what I mean? Or, out of the service, which I think you were still...
I was retiring.
yeah,
at
you
that
were
time.
right? Still in between, right?
Yep.
And then we started talking, and then he told me some of these things, but you didn't tell me all this stuff that we just read out, right?
That's the military bio, man. Like,
but it's awesome though, man, and we appreciate that. And you're homegrown. You got to go. You went to the prep school.
I did.
Yeah, and let's talk about that, right? Because a lot of our veteran our folks out here that tend to go to the academies, right? They kind of shy away from that, and one of the reasons they do that, it's like they might not know that the prep school is actually a part of being in the academy.
Oh, 100%.
Yes, and we should do that, right?
100%. Yeah, I'm super grateful. This beautiful human that's helped me throughout my entire life, Congressman Robert Underwood.
Oh, wow.
I went and saw him to try to get the nomination to go to Navy.
Good.
And he had advised me, like, my SAT scores were high, but I was messing around in high school, and I didn't have the best, like, GPA, right? And I didn't have, like, certain courses or whatever, and Congressman was just like, hey, like, you've been offered direct appointment, but you've also been offered to go to the prep school. And he encouraged me to go to the prep school, and I was like, hey, like, I trust you. Like, if you're saying this is what I should do, like, he advised me, he told me why. He was like, you go to that school, you're going to be making money, you're going to learn about the military customs and courtesies. And then when you show up, this is the big thing, when you show up to the academy day one, where everybody else is like, they don't know anybody, they don't know anything about the military, you're showing up with knowing a third of your class. And that's huge. You know what I mean? Like, it's huge. You have like a big leg up. So, yeah.
And what year did you happen to go through this process?
So I graduated from St. John's in 2001, and then I enlisted in the Navy immediately, and then went to the prep school in 2001, graduated from there in 2002, and then went to Annapolis.
Oh, very good. Yeah. And usually, right, so with during that time frame, were there other folks that were selected to go to the academies, or was there somebody that was selected to go to the Naval Academy even though you went to prep school?
So the time that I went, it was myself and a fleet selectee, Dave Bloss.
Okay.
We were both selected to go, and we went to NAPS. And then the following year, two other gentlemen, C.J. Slater and Tom Ham, were selected to go. So 4 of us showed up. There was 4 Guamis showing up. Yeah,
wow.
like 2. It was awesome. Like, where it's normally like you're kind of limited to 2,
Right.
right? The congressman has 2, congresswoman has 2 folks that they can nominate.
Right.
We showed up in force, right? So 4 of us.
But of the 4 of you, did the congressman nominate? Was there one nominated? Because going to the prep school is not a nomination. Is that correct? It's not like direct. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm not clear on like whether if they give you that nomination, does that cut away from the direct nomination? I'm not sure.
Right.
But I know that you have to be like blessed off to be able to go to the prep. So
Right.
I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll share a little story, and I don't know that my son will want me to share the story, but I'm on the microphone. So anyway, so we actually took the same route that you're talking about, but I did not get the same information that you're giving me, right? And had I had known that, I may have, had him go and pursue the the prep school, because, I think what it is right there, man, there are thousands of people that are vying for those positions, right? Yeah. And there's only a handful of them that actually get selected for it. And it's really, like you said, the congressman told you, go, right? You get paid and you want to do this. Yeah. And so like when my son was going through it, he met, just like you, a lot of the requirements, so he could have gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But as we were talking, right, so, I'm the veteran, right? I joined the service, and if my son wanted to join, I'd say, go ahead. If you want to do it. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying, for me, I joined for different reasons, and for him, I'm like, it's your choice. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I want him to make that decision, right?
And that's beautiful, especially if you're trying to go to like the academy.
Yes.
That place it's 4 years and it's not easy, right?
Yes.
So yeah, you got to want it yourself.
Yeah, and so when I talked to him, right, because, we could have made him join the service. We could have said, hey, go to college and then do this or whatever it might be, right? But at that point, I'm like, you pick. You decide what you want to do. And here's what of the rationale behind what we did was he passed everything.
Yeah.
They did not select him, right? Because there's a long list, right? Because not everybody gets selected.
Yeah, 100%.
But we kind of heard you could go get into the prep school. So the idea back then was, do you want to do that? And I think for him, right, it's like, hey, look, I put my best foot forward. They didn't select me. So, he made the decision at that point. Yeah. And for me, it's his decision. And I said, growing up, I didn't have a lot of opportunity to make decisions, right? It was like, go here, do this, do that, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was just like, it was set. Either you did it, and that was it. For him, I said, you make the decision, because this is for you, right? And if you want to do it, do it. And the military and our Department of Defense can never go back and say, hey, that guy ran away from service, because he did it.
Oh,
he
yeah.
applied. They didn't select him. What are they going to tell him? Oh, no, you didn't want to serve your country.
Yeah, 100%.
I went to you and you said, you don't qualify, I don't want to take you. But maybe your story of what you're talking about, and we heard this too from Charlie, right? Mm-hmm. Charlie came in.
Yeah, he's a professor.
Yeah. And then there's one or two other folks that we talked to.
Mr. Leangro.
Yeah, and they told us the prep school thing and everything. And we got to start pushing that, especially out here, right? Especially our students locally, right? Imagine the stuff that you were able to accomplish. I mean, you could almost be admiral pretty soon, right? I mean, you went to war college and everything, and we have to be nice, because just in case he becomes admiral, he's going to need somebody to make his coffee. And I will gladly get paid $200,000 a year from the federal government to bring you coffee. So my resume is in.
You're funny. Let me say hi to those watching us online. So we have... I don't know how to say his name. Doobie Seat Curry. Thank you for making this type of interview. U.S. Navy League Guam Council.
Ooh, wow.
And then we have Brennan Fausto, Jigo Jarhead watching. And then we have Ismail Velez, Hua Sakpak, and NSW-1.
He served there also.
Hell yeah.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yay.
So man, you're not alone here.
Yeah, we have people watching you online.
I like it.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And this is why we do the things that we do, right? Is, our veterans here sometimes go unnoticed and nobody gives them, hey, tell us about you, right? And this is why the show and getting people on and having them talk about their service gets everyone around us, especially our veterans, right? Hey, they're talking about me, or hey, that's my friend, or things like that. So
Ishmael said, I also served at SOCPAC for 5 years. I'm retired as the N6 from Naval Special Warfare Unit 1.
Is that another?
Velez. Last name is Velez.
Is he another admiral type? I will make your coffee, sir.
What years, bro?
What year? He wants to know what year.
I was there 2012 to 2013, and then I was back doing sock pack stuff 2018 to 2020.
Yeah. And are we up for a break almost, or not yet?
If I think we can.
4 minutes. Okay, we got 4 minutes.
So we did talk about his military career, right? You know, his impressive resume that we just found. But one of the reasons why we brought him on is because there was the article, right? The article in the newspaper said local technology development firm right?
Yes.
Firm?
Correct.
Executing federal grant for local team members, right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So that's what we wanted to. Well, of course, Veteran Radio Show. You're a veteran. We did talk about your service a little bit, and so I guess when we come back from the break, we can dive into this grant that you got, and you
Sounds
could
good.
talk about it.
Sounds good.
And all about it, and we'll be right back. You're watching us on The Point 93.3. We'll be right back.
Hop-a-day. This is Allie from Gain. Join us for our first annual Furball Gala on November 22nd from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Hyatt Grand Ballroom. Spend the evening enjoying great food, a silent auction, live entertainment by Mixed Plate and DJ Noli, a catwalk event to meet your new furry family member, and more. Proceeds from this event will go towards developing Gain's education and outreach initiatives, as well as supporting existing adoption and spay and neuter programs. To purchase your tickets, visit guamtime.net today.
Fox Facts. For over 55 years, Pringles, those iconic stackable potato-based chips, have delighted snackers worldwide. Frederick J. Bauer, an American chemist at Procter & Gamble, introduced the world to these saddle-shaped crisps in 1968. Not only did he invent the chips, but he also designed the distinctive tubular can in which they're packaged. Before his passing in 2008 at the age of 89, Bauer expressed a unique wish to have some of his ashes placed inside one of those containers he so proudly invented. Honoring his request, Bauer's children buried him in a container, which they purchased at a Walgreens while on the way to the funeral home. A portion of his cremated remains now rests in the Pringles can, buried in his grave outside Cincinnati, sealing his legacy in the very invention he created for eternity. Matt Murphy, Fox News.
And we're back.
Hey.
So, Ishmael said,
Yeah.
Huya? No, what did
Yeah,
he say?
that's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
he said I was SOPAC 2008 to 2013, and then Unit 1 from 2013 to 2017. Do you want us to put you in contact with each other?
Hell yeah.
Okay, you guys need a drinking buddies?
Hell yeah.
Hang
Why
out
not?
with them?
So Jose
Ishmael.
or whatever will
Jose.
have him give a
Okay. Ishmael, can you just message Jose?
yeah. Then he'll get it.
And then he'll get it. So I did want to talk a little bit about. I know we were going to talk about his grant, but I did want to bring up a few key veteran events that are happening.
Yes.
So West Care is hosting a veteran wave on November 8th at the ITC intersection. We'll keep announcing it on air. And if you're a veteran, no matter what era, what conflict, anything, Guard and Reserve, guess what? You're a veteran. A lot of them say, oh, I'm not a veteran. You're a veteran. You raised your right hand, you're a veteran. Served one day, you're a veteran. And then we also have HMI has their third annual 5K on November 2nd. And then we have our second annual gala on November 10th. And then on November 9th, because we're absolutely crazy and we just, like doing things. Frank the Crank's going to be running across the island for veterans on November 9th.
9th.
Yeah.
That's a Saturday.
Yes, and we'll push that out everywhere.
Yeah, so talking about that, right? If you're a business, if you're an organization, Frank's going to run from Jigo down to Molesto, right? And along the way, there's going to be 10 stops. And right now we have Charlie Hermosa getting 1 stop. Red Cross is going to get 2. We might get the new nurse practitioner to run with him. Brandon's going to run, Brandon Vera. So so along the way we're going to set that up, and I think we
might get him too.
Yes.
Yes.
I will walk out of this place.
Yes. No, it's not run. You don't have to run. No, just walk alongside. Frank,
just-
follow him,
yeah.
It's
say hi to
incredible.
him.
Yeah.
That is
Or,
incredible.
or the 10 stops. You could just stand there and wave him, and
Water.
that sounds more my speed.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and along the way, right? This is something because we're bringing more focus to our veterans as well as trying to raise some funds, right? So the money that's going to be made is going to be donated to HMI for what we do to take care of veterans. And, you know, we'll be able to use that money to keep doing the things that we do. Our boot camps, we spend, $300 a day on food
Yes.
to feed our veterans. And
And then Ambrose donates the drinks.
the drinks. So, you know, there's a lot of, you know, involvement with doing that. So, yeah, if you're a veteran and you just want to run, reach out to us.
Or walk.
Or walk.
A lot of veterans are broken.
Yeah. And we could,
Yes.
I mean, if you even want to just say, hey, I'm in a wheelchair, but when Frank is running, I want a wheelchair from point A to point B, whatever it might be, right?
Yeah.
And they'll be welcome to do it. And we're looking at having drone footage.
Oh,
with,
footage coverage.
Yeah, with Charlie.
With
right?
Bella Wings.
We were even
wow.
we were even talking about, you know, just in case Frank starts heating up, right? You know, Charlie has the window washing, right? So we're gonna get
We're gonna get water and dump it on him.
We're gonna get cold water and spray it on him so he doesn't overheat. Oh no! So he's gonna have.
I like that.
So we can do a few things, but we're gonna get it on. We're gonna try to get Charlie to get it on video. Charlie wants to be a part of either.
Yeah, he said he's
running
gonna
a
ruck it.
Yeah.
I think he said he's gonna ruck it. Yeah.
Dude,
Just a little bit,
that's
right?
so beautiful that those guys are like actually like willing to like put their bodies out there and like do something for the vets. That's
Yes.
friggin' awesome.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and then we had Brandon Vera in here, right?
Yeah.
And Brandon right away just said, "I'm on there. I'm doing this, right?" And because Brandon's an actual veteran.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Brandon's
Air
a veteran.
Force.
Yeah.
Oh
Air
shoot.
Force veteran.
Yeah, and he's doing all kinds of stuff down at like Mount Carmel, and he's doing a lot of good things with his Verified, his podcast, and he's talking about Guam and what he does out here. And
I love it.
yeah, and for him, right, that's something that we want to keep doing. So organizations, if you want to do it on your own, you want to get your own water station just to put up your business name, right, and your little thing, right?
Your banner.
Your banners and table or whatever. You know, we can get that all along because it's a long way.
So we already have Red Cross.
Two-
They're taking 2 stations. We have Local Jerk Guam.
Yes.
The Chrysostomos taking one.
Yes.
Who else? There was someone
Charlie.
else. Was it Charlie? Was it Bella Wings?
Yeah,
They're
Charlie's
have
gonna
one
do
stop?
something,
Okay.
yeah.
So any local veteran organizations, if you want to host a stop, let us know because he's running for the veterans.
Sounds like a lot of opportunity to just show your support for local veterans.
Oh,
That's
yes.
friggin' amazing.
Definitely.
Imagine if we could get all our veterans out there.
Oh yeah.
We could probably count them finally.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, no, really. And then maybe the VA will stop saying, "You don't have any veterans there." Yeah, we do. Look at all of them.
Look at all of us.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we have a lot of events going on, but we'll get back to you.
Yes.
What is this grant? I mean, the 5 W's. I think we talked about it earlier. And yep, go ahead.
All
It's a
right.
lot of info. It's a lot of
You're
info.
on.
Yeah,
a
so
lot.
Jack Guzman, wonderful from Guam Daily Post. She met with our team, both myself and Anne-Marie Flores, my R&D project manager, and she was just discussing, trying to see like, okay, what's been going on and what are the opportunities for Guam, and there are quite a few. So my company, Setpoint Solutions, we are developing emergency communications device, and it's principally it's really applicable for public safety and outdoor adventurer use, right? So anybody that goes hiking, hunting, fishing, they know that there's times where their cell phone they won't get reception, right? Well, if you activate our device in those areas where you don't have reception, you will, right? So in times where you're far away from the island, or you're just in like valleys and you're blocked by terrain or buildings, whatever, turn on the device and you'll be able to connect to the local cell architecture with your handheld device. So we pitched that concept to the National Science Foundation. There's a thing called the Small Business Innovation Research Grant, right? That's under the Small Business Administration. And it's a federal grant that a bunch of different federal agencies have. It's funding to stoke innovation, local or researchers, academics, technologists, inventors, anybody that's like got kind of a thought that they want to pursue. You can pitch that idea to that agency, and see if they're willing to fund it under an SBIR. That process is not easy, right? Like it's a lot of work. And we had to do it a few times before we struck success with National Science Foundation. We tried it different avenues and then finally tried NSF, brought on a technical report writer, grant writer, hired her, and she, I think, was the difference. She just really professionalized the product.
Wow. And so the stuff you talk about, you said you tried it more than once.
Yeah.
Can you say how many times you actually?
I think we did 3 or 4, and we were doing those through the DOD.
Okay.
And we had a bunch of DOD like stakeholders, sponsors, folks that were like the highest levels of support that you could receive. And we were getting those letters of support, and we still weren't able to capitalize and actually make it. We weren't converting, right? We weren't taking it from the proposal to success. And I think that key was bringing in that grant writer. And that was something I was saying that's something that it just kind of illustrates the value of HMI too for veterans. Like, we didn't know how to speak that language, right? So when you bring in somebody that's a professional that knows that language, it can be all the difference.
Right.
So to me, for veterans, there's a ton of veterans that I've talked to that say they apply for VA and they don't get their disability rating, and it's like, man, you need to talk to HMI because like they have you have like the resident experts. You guys know the language, and you can translate it so that you can make it successful, right? So,
and we had you at a couple of our boot camps, right?
You did,
and,
yeah.
And we were trying to get what you were talking about, which is a totally different area that So we talk about medical, we talk about benefits, right? What you've gone and done is something that we've never heard anybody talk about in the veteran community. But what you can do, a lot of other folks can do too, right?
Oh,
I mean,
100%.
it's hard work though.
100%. It is hard work, but 100%. Like, we are not. There's nothing special about me or the company. It's just right foot, left foot, right? Like, it's just like what you did in the military. It's like, you've got a ton of work. Yeah. You just got to take that first step and then take another, right? So it's just eat that elephant.
And for you though, right? You come from, I mean, you create and you have a very different outlook at things, right? You're not just like, oh, I want to do military stuff, right? You're like, I want to create something. I want to, invent something, right? Yeah. So there's not a lot of folks that do that, but there are some that do have some ideas like that. And I think the program that you're in right now, you're pushing a product or a device or something that you're making, you're taking from concept to actual tangible device, right?
100%. Yeah.
Now, you could also help other folks that might be in that same mindset.
Absolutely.
To do the same thing you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Funding. 100%.
Let's talk about funding, right? So when you were doing this, right, did you have to come out of pocket a little bit?
Oh, so deep.
And
so deep.
So let's talk about that, right? So because, when we look at these things, right, even like with us at HMI, right, we don't have no money. So, when we went out doing boot camps, right,
we're paying for it out of our own pocket,
right. And a lot of our veterans would bring the food. So today, as we've evolved into fundraising, right? Some monies have come in, and we use those monies to pay for the food and the things. And then we got like Ambrose helping us, right? So
Guam. But I love that. I love that. It's just like it starts off where you're just doing it yourselves. It's so Guam, and everybody's just pitching in.
Yeah. And so for you, when we talk about what you do, I mean, to get to where you're at, there's a lot of reading and writing and calculations and time and effort, sweat equity that you got to put in?
Yeah. Okay. 100% sweat equity, just straight savings. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So, wow, that's some good stuff. What else did you want to touch on that?
Because I know we talked about earlier what it was called, the name of the device.
The name of the device is the Parrot. Yeah.
And then you explained what it does.
I did. Yeah.
Okay. And then I think I asked you, why this concept?
Why this concept? So.
And then locally, how it would benefit us on the island.
So it was born out of me in the military seeing something that there was loss of life, and it was due to communications issues. And I was just, to me, it bothered me deeply, right? I was just like, it doesn't make sense. Like, there has to be a different way we have so much technology. There's so many different ways to like skin that cat. I don't see why these dudes had to die. Yeah. So I just started thinking about it, and I came up with a concept. And then the patent process, it starts off with doing what they call a prior art search. So you're essentially just looking to see if anybody has done what you're thinking about, right? So you don't spend money and you're infringing on something, so you can't even action it, right? Mm-hmm. You won't get that patent granted. So that's the why, right? It was born out of a problem I noted in the military, and then the applicability for local is, man, we've like, even recently there have been deaths in the hiking community that have just been super unnecessary, and they've been very close people to people that are very close to me, right? So it's just, to me, it's kind of, it just underscores the relevance for that device. And then in conversations with our local public safety officials, like folks from search and rescue from Guam Fire Department, we asked them, because it's part of the SBIR process, it's part of the NSF process, is like, you have to confirm product market fit. So you have to go out and talk to end users of that product. And every single person is like, dude, we absolutely need that. Like, that would save lives. So the local government is supporting that.
Have you talked to the federal government? Have you talked to what is it? Federal Fire?
Federal Fire, no, we have not. Like, the only folks that I've met with thus far locally from Fire have all been Guam Fire search and rescue specific. Yeah.
Okay. I think it's a cool concept. And then can you talk about the partnership with UOG, or what role they play in it?
Yeah. Again, this is something that was a Dr. Underwood thing. Like, I'm so grateful for him. Yeah. So Dr. Ella Morawski, a program director from National Science Foundation, was actually out on Guam. Dr. Pamela Peralta Taitano.
Yes.
She brought Dr. Morawski from the States out to speak with stakeholders in the agricultural lane out here, because there was some research that they wanted to do, or there was funding for that. And I met with Dr. Morawski, and she connected me with the folks at UOG, specifically Pam Peralta and Kathleen Moore-Lynn, who's the executive director for our Research Corporation for the University of Guam, and their chief business officer, Michael Connor. And we met with them a few times. They've been absolutely incredible to us, just really supportive of the concept. They've been wanting somebody to get an SBIR from Guam forever, and we were the first company to do it from any awarding agency. So we're just super stoked, and we're trying to learn business. So when we lean and we kind of put our hands up and just shrug towards them, they're helping us kind of guide our footsteps. So super grateful. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something we talk about quite a bit, right? Because UOG is a land grant institution, which means that they're designed to help the community to do things like what they did for you, and we really need to showcase that, right? Mm-hmm. Because the idea that we have an institution of higher learning that is able to bring what you're doing here to this island speaks to even greater things than that, because as you've talked about earlier, right, this means jobs potentially that can be brought here, and more funding to come in. Yeah. And imagine all the other projects. You're the trailblazer. And by the way, you're a veteran? Are you kidding me? Is this a veteran show? Are our veterans really doing all these things on this island, right? It's huge to celebrate that, and to really just have that, you know, I mean, you had to use your machete to cut down all the tongan and, you know, go pound the ground and get it nice and beautiful. So now all the other people behind you can follow that same trail, right? Because you've done something that, you know, had your background not been a veteran and all the things they put us through and train us for,
100%.
you may just say,
100%.
that's it, I'm out, right? So,
So he did talk about matching funds from the government.
Oh, yeah, that's
Maybe
a
we
good
could talk about that after the break.
after the
Take a break? Yes? No? Yes? Yes. We're going
right.
to take a break. You're listening to The Point on 93.3. You can call in at 671-888-TALK. We'll be right back.
Stay connected for your chance to win $2,000 in cash from IT&E. From now until December 22, prepaid and postpaid subscribers all have the chance to win the grand prize or weekly prizes like gift certificates, a TV, gaming console, smartwatch, and more. To earn entries, renew or sign up on a plan, pay your postpaid bill on time, enroll in autopay, or purchase prepaid load and products. Visit ite.net or any IT&E store for details. IT&E, connections that matter.
Get ready, Guam, for the 4th annual Imas Met Good competition. The strongest men and women on island will battle it out to see who's Imas Met Good. It'll be Sunday, November 3rd at the Epal Beach Park, presented by the Guam Army National Guard. The first event starts at noon. Come cheer on these strong athletes taking on 6 grueling events. This fun event is absolutely...
And we're back. So right before we went on the break, we talked about matching funds. So I think we talked about, and the article talked about it too, part of the requirement of the grant is to get matching funds from the state. How did that go?
So it was actually something that the localities, like municipalities, states, territories, they can show their support for their local businesses that secure these SBIR grants by extending state matching funds. And the goal being you're demonstrating like you're kind of, it's an attaboy to that business, right? Saying like, hey, thank you for like doing this. But then at the other side, it's also giving them that additional fuel. Like money's the fuel for any progress, right? So you're giving them that additional fuel to try to secure that success from your territory, from your state, right? So we approached, we had some conversations with folks from GITA, so Mel Mendiola, she's been wonderful. Wow. And then we ended up meeting with the Lieutenant Governor, Josh Tenorio.
Yeah.
And actually the folks, this is part of the reason why I think it's so beautiful, the support from them. Like all the folks from our COOG came, Dr. Underwood came to also like just visibly show us that support. And the Lieutenant Governor was very supportive. Like he was, he kind of gave a directive out to his staff and assembled a team of directors and deputy directors from different agencies to kind of meet with us in the following days. And they're game planning, trying to figure out, okay, how do we do this? Where are these, like, what's the appropriate way to do it? Just because there's different legalities, right, with like federal funds versus local funds, all that stuff. So they're just trying to make sure they're crossing their T's, dotting their I's, making sure they're doing all the due diligence, making sure it goes across right. Yeah.
So with this thing that you've created and are bringing to fruition here, this is the first of its kind because you have a patent.
I do. Yeah.
Right. So with that being said, you're going to put us on the map again.
Man, that's the hope, man. And I'm like,
right?
and one person and agency that I forgot to mention that's been super helpful, and I'd feel really bad if I missed it. Like it's Guma. So
oh wow,
Monica Guzman,
yes,
incredible. They're trying to swing it for us as well. They're just super creative minds, just dogpiling on this and trying to find the appropriate solution to meet the Lieutenant Governor's kind of directive.
Now let me ask that next question, right? If you have the patent and we're building it here on Guam.
That's the piece I'm not sure of yet. I don't know if we can build it on Guam. We're developing it on Guam.
But it's ours because you belong to us. You know that, right?
Oh, it's gonna get the Guam product seal, right?
Claim it.
Is it gonna get the Guam product seal?
Potentially, yeah, potentially.
Well, I mean, if GITA is involved, right?
Well, and here's the thing, though, right? After it's developed and created from here, you sell it outside, or it goes out for use nationwide.
Born in Guam.
That's right.
The goal.
I did ask him. I was like,
Yeah.
why grant and not, crowdfunding, right? I did ask him that question.
Well, I'll get a hold of Elon tonight. Hold on one second.
He's going to call you.
Elon, get on this now. Anyway, but along with that, right? So I had an opportunity, and I don't know if we ever discussed this, but I had an attorney friend of mine who deals with sovereign wealth funds, and there are things around what you're doing, right? That maybe if we as a government put the funding into it, right? There's a share that comes back after it gets patented and everything, right? You own the patent. But if the government has a small piece of it, this funding will continue to come to Guam every time they buy it or whatever, and it'll kind of help the local government or whatever. They use it for many different things. So
I'm not familiar with a sovereign wealth fund. I'm not sure about any of that stuff.
So it's usually like you remember when they had the Copra, right? I think it was out of Nauru. So Nauru had all these.
I've heard of Nauru. I've never heard of Cobra. Like I don't know.
So there's they have resources there, and because of these resources, they were making a lot of money. So because they make money, the money goes to the people. So everyone in Nauru was supposedly getting X amount of dollars because of this, resource that they had.
Mm-hmm.
So to talk about something like that and what you've created, the amount of money that you're going to make from this is going to be money that's going to come that potentially could go to the people of Guam somehow. I don't know. But
to me, the goal was to the end goal is to try to keep the business here for as much as possible, right? That was part of the goal of that Guam Daily Post article, was to try to see if there's talent that we can source locally that has the specific experience. I don't care about like education or credentials. Like to me, it's, can you do and have you demonstrated that you can do what we need you to do? And my lead engineer, when we have those interviews, he asks questions that if you don't know what you're talking about, it's gonna be evident, right?
Yeah.
So, like to me, but that's like I'm trying really, really hard to source talent locally.
Right. Okay, and that's great. And so even if we don't do the sovereign wealth fund thing, right?
Yeah.
We at least are identifying it as Guam, and then we're opening up more things that would the island will benefit from, right?
That's
or
the
at least
goal.
the folks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. That is super solid. I saw you in the paper, and I said, he hasn't been talking to me.
Bro,
now
it was
I know
so
why.
fast. It was so fast. You sent me that WhatsApp.
Oh, I know.
Like you're such a good dude. Man. Yeah, I love it.
And I congratulated you because I was like, I was just talking to this guy. He came to our boot camps, and it's having that good energy, right? And all the good things that you've been doing. And again, from our veterans, right? Our veterans are doing this, and we're helping our entire island do this stuff. And it doesn't just have to be go get your claims and go get the medical side. That's a whole different ball game that you'll leave to HMI.
But they should.
Yes,
but
there
they
you go.
should. You should.
Let me say hello to those watching us online. So Vincent John Santos says half a day with the little
Shaka.
Hoi, hoi.
Half a day.
And then Oma says half a day, everyone. And then who else we have? Janet. Do you know Janet? Jose? Janet Cruz?
I do. Doesn't look familiar.
Oh, okay. She said Guam needs a rehabilitative intervention program using public and government supported donations. She said, exactly. Grants have the obligation and funding to support this type of program. She says, about time. This is an excellent event and should be an ongoing program. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Janet, because we talked about a lot of things. She said, I would love to see this active when I return home. Ooh. Oh, that brings up a good question that I want to ask. Are you guys linked or planning to link up with the Anafa Malik team? Do you know who Anafa Malik is?
I think that's Pat Wolf.
Okay.
But Anafa Malik is
Janet, can you post what you're specifically talking about? And then Ron Castro says Buenas and half a day.
Ron Castro.
And then
He's
Oma
part of Guma.
Oh.
I think it was the wrong cast of the artist I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay.
Oh, very good.
And then Oma says, I will reach out to UOG as well. I'm not sure. Maybe that was something that we were saying because the comments aren't coming up. Because, I missed them because we talk a lot. But some of the comments are out
Well,
of
this is
order.
talk radio,
Well, yeah, but we're not looking at it.
Okay.
But so the question I wanted to ask was phases. You talked about phases. What phase are you in now?
So we are closing out phase 1 and preparing for phase 2. So phase 1, if you're doing a small business innovation research grant under any agency, phase 1 is dedicated to determining technical feasibility and product market fit. And then when you've done that, then phase 2 is conducting advanced research, development, test, and evaluation of that innovation, and also doing prototyping of the device. So, yeah.
So, regarding like looking for these patents, right? I mean, how do you trust that, you ever watch those commercials? If you have an idea, call us, right? And
I don't trust this. I don't trust that. Like,
He's like, this is
honestly,
my idea.
I am very hawkish and not very trusting of many things.
Yeah.
So
how did that work out? Because to get the patent, you got to tell them, right? And I'm like, how do I know that this exists already, right? It's like, I can tell you these things, right? But how am I going to be able to say that, it's in your system already?
But like you said, he did the research. That was the first thing he did.
yeah,
But you still got to talk. You got to call the patent people to
yeah.
find out whether there's something that.
some of that stuff is like I ended up trudging through it. I made a huge mistake out the gate, and I'll share it with everybody because I hired a Palo Alto because I was like, oh, this is technology, right? Like I'm gonna hire somebody in Silicon Valley. I'm gonna hire this law firm. Dude, that law firm was just like, it was like a business. So like $130,000 later, and I still didn't have the granted patent. Wow. And then I had to go through a friend of mine who is a business owner and did kind of similar stuff, and he connected me with his patent attorney. $8,000 later, and I have a granted patent. So I was like, oh God. Yeah, I would encourage people to be very careful with who they share their concepts with, and even if you're sharing with somebody that you really trust, get them to sign an NDA.
NDA?
I mean, look at Facebook.
Yeah, 100%. Get them to sign an NDA, and then lawyers. If you need a lawyer and you're on island and you have an idea or whatever, like contact me. I'm down to sign an NDA, and I'm down to give you to my patent attorney.
All right, and I think we're about to wrap up.
Oh,
but
yes.
We really sincerely appreciate all these things, and we haven't even scratched the surface, by the way. So we were thinking we wouldn't have too much to talk about, but we haven't talked about a lot of other things.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll get you back on, but we're almost certain that after this interview, there could be a guy by the name of Ray Gibson that might be calling you if he hasn't already called you.
Interesting.
Yeah. So this is something that, this is huge. It's big. But you're a veteran. Yes. Our veterans are doing great things out there.
Yes.
In the year of the veteran, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like HMI, man.
Yes.
I'm really grateful for you guys.
Yes.
You
Thank
guys
you.
are wonderful.
And we'll keep doing stuff.
And we'll see you guys next week. You're listening to The Point 93.3. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye, everyone.
The Point is KUSG, Hagåtña, Guam, 93.3 FM and 104.3 HD3.
2 weeks and a day. All that's left till Election Day 2024. I'm Ted Lindner, Fox News. Former President Trump on Sunday was visiting McDonald's in southeastern Pennsylvania and working the fry machine. Fox's Kevin Uretsky with details.
Outside of a McDonald's in Bucks County, Pennsylvania Sunday, chanting from supporters of Donald Trump. Inside, the former president stopped by to check out the friend